Hello friends, today we are going to spend some time up here in the Woodland Garden at the chicken coop. Y'all, all we can say about this flower bed is bless its heart. It has been through the ringer. Today we are finally getting some shrubs in this space. As you know, this poor bed had to take over a year's pause because of all the various storms and the trees going down. So today we are going to come in here and add some of my favorite shrubs to a shaded garden. We've got camellias, we've got hydrangeas, we've got evergreens, you name it, the shrubs are going in today. Now, this is a very wooded area. And with trees and woods, we know what also comes along, right? Roots. So I absolutely could use my 9-inch Jenny's Edition auger on here. But you know what? I have a son who's 15 who loves equipment. And we have a skid steer that has a nice big auger on it. And so he is going to come help me plant these, because when I tell you that this soil is gosh awful, I mean it is gosh awful. It is red, it is compact, it has zero organic material in it. And then of course you've got all the roots from the trees. So we are going to amend. What we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of like, I don't even know, musical chairs, musical plants, because we are going to be adding, and forgive me if I'm a little scattered because there's a lot going on, but I've got to keep all these plants straight. I have got a Ruby Slippers oak leaf hydrangea in a unique stone pot. Has been here for a couple of years, and she needs to get out of the pot. So of course we love Ruby Slippers. It is one of the more petite ones in that like 3 to 4 wide, no, 3 to 4 tall, 4 to 5 wide. She's more of a gumdrop size, right? But we love the oak leaves because they give us massive blooms that are creamy white. Then you get this gorgeous fall color on it. So we're going to take her out of the pot. She's going to be one of the first ones to get planted because she's coming out. We got to move some pots, and she's going to go in this back corner over here between the stump that I'm going to eventually put like a little statue on, and then my root ball, my little nod to some stumpery. So she's going to go back here. Then we've got like a paisley pup that we're going to put in, and I'm going to go through all the plants later once we get them in. We've got some Invincible lace hydrangeas that we're going to put in. They desperately also need to get out of these containers, so we're going to put those in. We've got a high fragrance camellia that just can't stand up today because of the wind. Beautiful, of course, evergreen foliage on that. It has, as its name suggests, fragrant flowers, kind of like a rose-like fragrance, double pink blooms. This will be like a 5 to 8 tall and wide. Hence why we're going to put it towards the back, and it'll be that lovely evergreen for us in this area. I think if we're going to, while we're here and I have Jackson with me, we're going to go ahead and take this Sweet and Low Sarcocoa that is growing in the pot. We're going to take it out. It's very happy here, but she's a little too happy and she's outgrowing the pot. So this is a great time to move it. So we're going to take it out of the pot and we're going to add it in front of the other Sweet and Lows that I have. So it'll be a nice little group of 3 over there. So we got to do that. Then let's see, I have got a Fairy Trail Bride in the back. We're going to put it there. Of course, Fairy Trail is a great cascading hydrangea that is going to be in that 4-ish, 3 feet tall, 4 feet wide, I want to say, in that area. And so it'll do great back here. It can take the sun, it can do filtered sun, but it should do really, really well underneath these trees because it will be protected from those cold winter winds and those really cold temperatures because it will have the protection of the trees. So it should do phenomenally well right here. So we're going to put it there. We've got 2 podocarpus. These were, and I don't even, they're just generic, y'all. They don't have a specific variety name to them. These are, of course, that great evergreen shrub. They will get nice and big. They love the shade. Once you get them established, they're pretty drought tolerant. And that's gonna give me a fun evergreen texture. I've got another one down further, but These were examples of, they had sat at the nursery for quite a while, had not sold, and I was like, I'll take them, I'll put them in my garden. So that is what we are doing, because again, in your gardens, we are looking for color, texture, movement, all of those things, 4 seasons of interest. And honestly, in a woodland garden in the wintertime, you know, you could have, be lacking some evergreen color. This will give me a funky shape, totally different leaf texture to it. So this will be fun to add it in here. Like I said, there's another one down here that we're going to add as well. So I'm trying to repeat some of the same plants and just kind of spread them out. Now, speaking of the same plants and we're going to spread them out, is I have a moon shadow camellia. Now, this is an old bloom, so it's hard to really justify and see. I think I may have a picture of it when it was fresh. But this is a sasanqua, right? So we know it blooms in the fall, has the leaf that's about the size of your thumb, right? Your thumbprint. So we know it blooms in the fall. So I planted one, and then we had 2 left over at the nursery that, again, did not sell, so I grabbed those. Y'all, they have been hanging out in their containers here in this spot probably for a year. It's pathetic. They've been sitting here for so long, they've actually rooted to the ground. So we're going to get them in the ground today, my friends. So we got those 2 because thinking of repeating some of those same plants, right? So when we're coming down, or rather we're coming up, so here we are at the top of the steps and we're looking. So we'll have the same camellia, 1, 2, and 3, all right there. And so that brings some consistency to the bed and some nice, it ties the whole bed in together. Of course, we love it because it's evergreen and it flowers. I mean, what can you not love about a great sasanqua camellia? So those 3, and then this is the other podocarpus right here that we're going to add. So I am going to restrain myself a lot, and I'm only going to focus on those shrubs that I mentioned today, because this is going to be a multi-step process where I have got, oh my gosh, I've got tons of perennials that I want to add to here, all sorts of things. But sometimes my brain says, oh, we can do all these things, and then time in my body then goes, no, you can't. So we're really going to stay focused, get them in the ground today. Now, I talked about amend. This is awful soil. This is terrible because we're up on top of a hill. I mean, like, if you look down, like, look at where the house is. So, I mean, it is, I'm like on my 2nd story right now. I'm level with my 2nd story. So it is a slope. So over the years, between all the rain, whatever, all the organic material has just washed down. I've told you many times that the soil up here at the chicken coop is terrible. So we are, like I said, amend, because we want to make sure that these plants are nice and happy. There is not irrigation up here. So this is why I am planting in November in the fall, and we are going to amend. So what I have here is a palette that I have been slowly working on of the black gold. This is the Ultra Outdoor planting mix. It is rich in compost. It will help retain moisture. It will help feed these plants. Now, you use whatever great compost that you have available to you. So we had brought this up, gosh, I don't know. It's probably been up here a month. And so I've been slowly adding it to different plants that are already in the ground, top dressing. So you could use the black gold. You could use the Espoma garden soil. You could use whatever regional product that you have. If you don't know of a good compost, visit a local garden center and ask them, because they will know. So you just want a really good quality compost. We had customers here Saturday. They make their own compost. So they have a farm and they make their own compost. So if you do that, great. And you have lots of experience making your own compost and you know how to do it so it's not too hot to burn your plants, absolutely go for it. So whatever it is, just amend. And always use that Biotone starter fertilizer. So that is what we are going to do. So I'm going to give Jackson an old ringy dingy, have him come up here with the skid steer And then he and I are gonna work together as a team, get these babies in the ground. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to have him drill the hole with the auger, and I wanna say that's a 18-inch auger, maybe. So have him drill the hole with the 18-inch auger. Then I'm gonna add some of the black gold in it, have him drill it again. We're gonna plant, we're gonna bring the soil back, and then we're going to go ahead and top dress yet again with more black gold. My friends, woo-wee, we got them in the ground. All the shrubs I talked about are in the ground, fertilized, composted, and watered. That's right, high five, friends. We did it. Oh my goodness. Although I do have a bone to pick with you, okay? You let me create some kind of plant that I don't even know that really even exists. It is not a Podocarpus taxus, no, no. It is a cephalotaxis. There you go. So when I was over here talking about one of the shrubs, dear heavens, y'all, it is, you can tell it's fall and my brain is tired, but there you go. So the cephalotaxis is in, might be kind of hard to see, it's right there. So Jackson, of course, bless his heart, was a great help to me. So we got all of them in. Camellias are in. Got both camellias, these two camellias in rather. Got the other cephalotaxis in right there. And so of course we started down here with the ruby slippers hydrangea that we talked about. And I think he did it first, and maybe he did one other, and he was like, I'm gonna go get your auger, mama. He said, I think it'll do better. And I was like, hey, listen, you're the one doing it, you go for it. And so he did a lot of the holes with that 9-inch Jenny's Edition auger, and he did great. He did over, when we got back over there with those moonshadow camellias, he did go ahead and get the bobcat again because they were really close to some trees. And then, of course, he just had to get some old stumps out for me. So we had to go get the cat excavator for that. I mean, you know, it works for me because it'll make it a lot easier in the long run to plant over there. And I ended up putting one of those shrubs like right in the middle, like where a stump had been, because he got the soil all nice and loose. So there you go. Got the other sarcococa in, sweet and low. And y'all, I'm telling you what, it just lifted right out of that pot. Jackson did great. So we got it in, of course, then, and so, okay. So the sarcococca is going to be an evergreen shrub. It's called Sweet and Low because it does do flowers in the spring. They smell divine. It will naturalize. So just be aware of that. These two have been in the ground for 2 years now, and you can just see I have a couple of little sprigs of it. This is a dry area. So if you want it to naturalize, it will do great in a damp area. If you don't want it to naturalize, put it in a more dry area like I have here. So it'll be just fine, and evergreen shade, can do morning sun, afternoon shade. It's a great evergreen for the shade garden. Then of course, Ruby Slippers is back there. Then the high fragrance camellia is in here. She will be 5 to 8 tall and wide, have more kind of an open, airy habit to it, but very excited about it. It is a japonica, so you can tell because it's got those nice big fat leaves on it. So we've got several buds on it, so very excited. I didn't smell it last year when we got them, and so this will be my first time actually having it and having some blooms and some fragrance, so really excited. So got that in, and then the Invincible lace hydrangeas. So there's 3 of them right here. They will get to be about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. Now clearly I did not plant them 4 feet apart from one another because I want them to form kind of a hedge. It is a smooth hydrangea. It blooms on new growth. It will do great because it gets morning sun, but it'll get a break from the hot afternoon. This area right here is nice and moist because remember back in the summer, we had standing water or whatever the issue was right through here. And so Jerry came in and kind of graded it. And so he graded it down. So anytime we get rain, this is like a little ebb, like a little low area. So the water comes through right here, and then he pushed all the soil down there. So amazingly enough, this whole strip, so with the paisley pup, the hydrangeas, the camellia, this was all really, really moist. Not soaking wet, but moist. So they should do great. But the Invincible lace, the reason that you might want to have Invincible lace is if it's a great pollinator attractor. So if you're looking to attract pollinators because it has a super open flower on it, it is not going to be your huge like flower power from a big distance, like think like Limelight, right? Limelight or Quickfire, you know, those Quickfire Fab, those that have the huge massive blooms that you see from a big distance. This one's more delicate. It's more sweet, and you got to get up close to it, but it has such an open habit on the flowers that your pollinators can get in there and get all that sweet nectar, and they love it. So there you go. Of course, paisley pup, like we've already talked about. Love this evergreen. So trying to mix in the evergreens, the deciduous, and all the things. And then of course, yeah, I think that's it. Fairy Trail Bride, she's back there. She's doing great. 4 to 5 will be perfect. Got my containers. So now I have 2 empty containers. So I'll probably go ahead and maybe take this guy out and put him in the landscapes. And then I'll have 3 containers that I get to replant again. So what I will do next, the next step in this bed is to add the perennials. So my hostas, my Lenten roses, I've got pulmonaria over there. I've got some autumn ferns over there. I've got cast iron plants. So I'm trying to whittle away on this stash and those plants that need to go in the ground. So today was a big step in the right direction, getting them in the ground, getting them watered. The roots will get super happy over the winter. That way when the summer heat hits, they will do the best that they absolutely can do. All right, my friends, if you have found this fun and informative, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week for you. Y'all have an amazing day. We will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.